Good morning, YouTube. Today we're going to go put Tim's 348 back on the dyno to see how much horsepower it makes.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan. This is my garage, and this channel is all about the supercar ownership experience, buying and selling and maintaining them, DIY work on them, and I can help you buying or selling a supercar or having questions about supercars. So go visit my website, normalguysupercar.com, and there I offer consultation services, buyer's guides, and other things like cool t-shirts. I appreciate when you guys can support me. That does help keep this channel going. So if you remember, about a year ago, we actually worked on Tim's 348, did an engine out major, got it working. And then we put it on the dyno to see how much horsepower it made, and it was running really lean. Actually, it turns out there was a lot of things that were kind of not quite right, probably because of the age of the cars. So Tim and Josh kind of worked on it all throughout the last year, and they think they finally got it set up correctly, so everything's running right. So Tim wanted to get it back on the dyno so we could see what it's actually putting down. I saved all my footage from the original dyno run, and I never published it because I was waiting until we did a follow-up video, which initially we thought was going to be maybe a week or two, and well, it's been a year. So, well, whatever, you know, like, hey, it's better late than never. We got it running right. So let me first show you the footage from a year ago, and then we're gonna go out to Eurocharged ATX and dyno Tim's 348. So take a look at this. This is from about a year ago. Good morning, YouTube. Today we're gonna head on out to Eurocharged and go dyno Tim's Ferrari 348. All right, so what's your number?
At the wheels, I'm gonna go 295.
295. Woo, you were really optimistic.
I am.
All right, I was gonna say like 250 something, but
So yeah, if we pick up 20 to 30 at the wheels, I'm gonna be ecstatic.
that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Nervous?
It is. So this is why you do dynos, man. This is why, because then you can figure out when stuff isn't right. So imagine if he didn't do this dyno, he'd be running lean, not knowing it, risking the engine for quite a while, and probably would eventually pop the motor. So it's time to get some fuel pumps, put a mechanical gauge on it, and that 230 is gonna come way up. That, what was it, 237?
237, yeah.
237. We're gonna get it way up, I guarantee you. Running that lean, I mean, yeah, we're very, very lean. This is not what you want to see when you're on the dyno. This is why you dyno your car, especially when you start screwing with them. Okay, now that we've taken a look at it, let's go see how much horsepower it makes today. Oh yes, there it is. So again, we're back at Eurocharged ATX. Okay, Tim.
It's the big day.
How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Why?
I hope we don't blow it up.
Okay.
but
So
hopefully we'll turn out big numbers for once.
So it's been a year. So what all did you do in the year?
It ran well, but not great.
Yeah.
And it was lean, as you saw in the last dyno test.
Yep.
And so Josh and I ran a bunch of diagnostics, and with our brilliant OBD1 system, we narrowed it down to coolant sensors, crank position sensors, MAFs, O2 sensors, or something else.
Ugh.
And so we'd replaced almost all of that during the engine out, except for the MAFs and the O2 sensors.
Right.
And the crank position sensors. So
yeah.
Tested all those. Everything actually tested okay on the bench, but we swapped out O2 sensors, and that made a huge improvement, but it still had a flat spot at about 5,000 RPM.
Yep.
Just on a whim, I swapped MAFs from one side to the other, and all the check engine lights and everything migrated to the other side. So that was it.
So you knew you had a bad math.
Yeah, so Ferrari Steve out in San Diego, Steve Maxwell, hooked me up once again, and a new MAF, and put that in, and it was night and day.
Wow.
260. 259 point something.
Torque curve is. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, dude, you realize it picked up over about 30 horsepower from last time?
Yeah. Yep.
Shows you having it running properly makes a big difference.
But it was doing that.
What do you think, Josh?
It's all right. I'm not impressed, but it at least did measurably better than it did the first time now that everything's fixed, so that's good.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a number more exciting, but yeah, we did what, 237 last time, so that's 22 wheel more just by fixing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we did make one fuel map change to the chips to give it a little bit more fuel because it was a little bit lean, but otherwise, all we did was fix stuff.
Dude, on the money.
Who's the accountant here?
All right, I'm sipping my books to you. Shell V-Power, making big horsepower.
Yes.
Yeah, factory red line is 7,200 and we're up over 8 now. So
Yeah, you can see it ran. I heard the fuel shutoff kick in about 82, 83.
yeah,
That's pretty darn good.
it screams.
Yeah. And look
It's like
at
a 355 now.
and the torque and horsepower curves, especially the torque, was just flat.
That's super flat.
Very good. Dude, got a little more.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
262.
And the torque went up a bunch too.
Yeah. 250 at the crank for torque. And what's
Yeah.
the horsepower at the crank?
What'd you say, 320?
About 320.
320.
Yeah,
So you're-
319, 320, depending on how anal you're gonna get about your math.
Right. So we're up way over 20, about 25 horsepower.
Yeah, about 20 horse and 20 torque.
Wow, just from the timing basically, because everything else, timing exhaust.
Yeah.
Well, the first run you should consider a throwaway because the AFR was trash.
Right.
So that wasn't even stock AFR. So you really want to throw away the original runs. Unless you're gonna say tune-up, like what is a tune-up worth on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
old Ferrari, right? So we did engine wiring harness grounds were dirty, so we cleaned those up, put new O2 sensors in it because they were bad, put one new mass airflow sensor in it, thank you Steve for that, and then we also replaced the crank sensors because the new ones you got that were Hyundais or Kias were the wrong resistance.
Right.
So in just doing that and then fixing the chip tune to get the air fuel ratio also close to where it needed to be,
Yep.
we gained 30 torque and 30 horsepower
Pretty
just by
good job.
doing basically a
Maintenance.
tune-up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're gonna take the stock car to what it is now, we just went from 240 wheel horse is what they usually dyno at to 262, and so yeah, another 20 from stock to this with modified cam timing, tune length exhaust, and retuned chips. So all easy stuff to do, right? Like none of that was very expensive. No headers, no
Yeah.
custom intake manifold, no big intake valves, and we got it to essentially the 320 flywheel horse.
What's next?
Steve, make me some ITBs.
Next we swap a 430 motor into it. Be done with this fucking thing.
That. They did a V12 once. Let's do it again.
You can't afford that.
All right, well, clearly Tim is happy, and I don't know, I'm pretty happy. What do you think, Carrie?
He's all smiles. He's like a kid at Christmas.
Dude, he passed us on the highway, and he was just... Tim, your car sounds awesome. Good to see that's running very good. Pretty cool that it got like about 30 horsepower over stock-ish, and we improved it by about that much too because of the stuff that was just not right. I mean, that's what happens when you got a car that's almost 30 years old. Sensors start to go bad, things fail. So this is why, like, when people talk about doing these like cheap majors, belt slap majors, man, you really need to like be ready to spend a lot of money on these majors and keep these things in good shape if you want to retain the high level performance that they come with. So if you don't really care, well then whatever. I mean, if you're just putting around town, all right, just slap some belts on it and call it good. Tim clearly is not that person. He wants to squeeze every last horsepower that's available out of things. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna have a ton of car stuff covered your way. You're gonna want to stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.